If you don't lose your consciousness, then nothing will go wrong. Everything goes wrong because we are losing our consciousness constantly. Constantly, we think about unimportant things. Even people who don't have money and they are unable to pay their rent, because this is mostly the people who come to see me are not rich people, are people who are very, very spiritual. And they want God. But what happens is, they think about God, seminars, reading books, but never think about the pressing needs. And this is something that you need to correct, because this world is organized differently. Not that you have to become a millionaire, but at least you should focus attention on your needs and whether you have met the needs. And for that you have to be very, very conscious. There are a few things that you have to understand here. Who knocks down your consciousness and makes you spacey? You have to understand that if you become spacey, you cannot manifest. Then you will become unrealistic. If you are spacey, you will become unrealistic. Most spiritual people are spacey. And unrealistic. And this is something that you have to stop and take control of yourself. That is very, very important. Whether you are real or not, you have to constantly keep questioning. Because the rule is whatever you think is the reality. If you are spacey all the time, then you will manifest only spacey things. If you are material all the time, you may manifest material things. I was in New York 3 weeks ago, and I was told that there was a guy who made $4 million a month as salary. And I was told there are several people in New York who make that kind of money. But why is it is very difficult even to make $4,000 for other people? Not that you have to make $10,000, just a $4,000, that's enough to cover your modest bills. There are many people who don't even have that. The difference between the $4 million guy and the 4,000 guy is only a matter of what he thinks. The spacey people think even I want $40 million a month. There are many people who have come and told me I want $40 million a month. And they never even think that it is unrealistic. So you should never ever forget the reality. This world has its own reality. Unless you are in a place where you can change the reality. I will tell you, I just came here and somebody opened a radio station. And then they put all the money they had, invested it and put together a radio station. But they did not have operational money. And I was in the radio station, and then I said, they told me the problem. The following day, money for 6 months operation showed up. For 6 months. Just before walking into this hall, I said that person, although there is 6 months money for operation, don't go to sleep. You need to raise more money for marketing, and you need to do more. Think about what you're going to do after 6 months. The reason why I am saying that, if you get into that field of consciousness, wherein you will have the ability to manifest anything that you want to manifest. At that level, it doesn't matter if it is a $4 million or a $4,000. I do not judge you by money. I judge you by your real wealth. Your real wealth is you have God. You have just come here to see me. And that shows your commitment. You need a little adjustment here. And that adjustment is to learn what mistakes you are doing. What are the mistakes you are doing? And that is losing consciousness. You should never ever lose consciousness. If you don't lose consciousness, you will not die. Even death, old age will not hit you, but you have to have that kind of consciousness. And I have a covenant with you, a contract. As I walked in, I put my own contract in place that I would protect you. I will. But then you have to live up to the contract. The covenant here is you don't want to lose your consciousness. That's very, very important. You do not know how flexible things are. Things are not like solid. They are not written in stone. There is great amount of flexibility here for you to go and alter the things that you want to alter. There's tremendous amount of flexibility. But you are not allowing things to happen by just holding on to a negative reality. I am broke. There is recession. There are no jobs. People are losing their houses. I'm not saying that these are not true. They are true. But you can raise above all of them. Provided you keep the contract. If the covenant is be conscious.